Okay, so here's the part 2 of the inactive scan tutorial. You see up here, we just recently added this feature where it says conversation filter. I've had people ask, what about people who have had conversations with me? So we added this feature inside of here. And as you can see, once you click on it, it says select time duration. And it says last spoke 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or up to 1 year. And so what that means is it's going to allow you to scan either from 1 month to 1 year, and the software is going to see if you've had any conversations with that person on that inactive list within that time frame. So it gets a lot deeper, a lot more targeted and accurate. And here's the thing, because it has to scan every single person's message history, this scan is going to take a bit longer than the original inactive scan. So this is optional. It takes about 1 second to maybe a second and a half per contact on your inactive list for the software to go through. So let's say I click on 1 year. You can see right here, it says, are you sure you want to filter inactive friends by recently sent messages? The estimated time for 2,915 total friends is 49 minutes. So like I said, it takes a bit more time, but it gets a lot deeper and a lot more accurate. So this may be something that you only do once a week, once a month, who knows? But this is completely optional. And by clicking yes, you're going to see a counter go through each and every single friend on that inactive list. And that way you can gauge how long it's taken. And also, this is just an estimate. It may be shorter. Most times it ends up being maybe 10, 15 minutes shorter than the estimated time, depending on your internet speed. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this for the sake of this video, and I'm going to show you this feature as well. This is a safe list feature. I've had people say, well, let me just exit out of this. I've had people say, well, I have friends and family that I don't want removed. So how can I protect these people when I'm doing mass removals of all of these inactive people? Simply right click on that person, click on add to safe list. And as you can see, they were removed from this inactive list. So they're no longer counted as inactive. That doesn't mean that you unfriended them. It just means that you're adding them to the safe list. And let me just do a couple more people. Okay. And then once I finish adding those people to the safe list, what I want to do is I want to export that list. Let me just do safe list, and I'm going to save that on my desktop. And you see it says save successfully. Now, what that did was it backed up my list of people that I want to prevent from being removed. So every single time you open up this software and you run through this process, before you remove anybody on this list, you want to make sure that you click on import list and you import that list. Do not tamper with any of the people inside of this CSV file, because what it's going to do is going to throw off everything, and you don't want that to happen. So just make sure that you save it and put it in a safe place. And every time that you run this process, you simply import it, and these people will never be removed. Now, lastly, once you do start the removal process, let me just click on a couple of people, just for example. Now I'll click remove selected, and you see it says amount of friends to remove before pausing, 300 or less for your safety. Now, when I first launched Social Prospector Pro, we were able to remove, 2,000 people, 3,000 people all at once. But since then, Facebook has made some changes, and it seems that around the 250 to 300 mark, they tend to prevent you from removing more people, and you'll see that the software will pause if they do. This is not a strike against your account. They just simply stop you for a time period. Okay, so what I suggest is, if you are trying to remove all inactive people, don't go above 300, and always do a pause in between. So at the bare minimum, a 5-minute pause. You can do a 50-minute pause, 15-minute pause. It really doesn't matter, but you want to make sure that you pause in between each friend removal interval. Okay, and I'm not going to remove these people right now, but what's going to happen is once I click start, it's going to start removing each person one by one. And once it reaches friend number 300, it's going to then pause for 5 minutes or whatever the selected pause time is that you entered. And then once that time has passed, it's going to resume removing the next batch of 300 people. And again, this is for the safety of your account.